Did you know that Chick-fil-A's organization discriminates against women in the workplace? According to a recent case study, out of the 30 applicants, 19 were women, and 4 of those 19 have equal qualifications to the men that were hired. In this presentation, I explain what can be done to prevent this and provide equality. More specifically, I describe the negative patterns, how I plan to address the situation, and what can be used to improve the organizational communication habits. Now let's start talking about the points. As I was able to conduct an organizational analysis of Chick-fil-A over the course of 1 month, I realized that this organization's culture is a proof of male superiority behavior per the case study provided. The Muse website, founded in 2020, provided a good example of unfair equality. It's unprofessional for a manager to rely on stereotypes when assigning people tasks. The first negative pattern that we come across is during the hiring process and how the women seem to be passed up more than the males, even though as stated in the case study provided, the store general manager has already expressed his concern about these hiring statistics because he had gotten an email from an anonymous employee. From the information that's been given, we can clearly see that the majority of workers are male, regardless of the qualifications from the female applicants. With this, it leads to many questions of how this organization is truly managed. The second negative pattern to be discussed is the power of the male workers that they have over the women. From Moda, Butler, DeWine, a contradiction between the interest of those exercising power and the interest of those they exclude, which fits the situation. The third pattern is the control over the organization relating to how the manager wants to structure his own environment, knowing that the women are being categorized into housewives because the roles they take on, such as serving, are stereotypical for females per the information given in the case study. The males treat the workplace like a fraternity, stated in the findings of the case study as well as the manager. While he knows what is happening, he refuses to handle the situation and continues to let this habit get out of hand. We'll discuss the second point. Beginning to address the tricky situation should start with facts. I will compare the amount of applicants to who got hired and what gender seemed to be favored most. Hopefully this will fix this process and make room for improvement in this organization. The next thing that was found important to discuss is to define the situation to the manager. I will discuss how his actions are violating values of voice, community, and fairness per Moda, Butler, and DeWine. I will provide an ethical approach to explaining emotion and the communicative behavior. Finally, I will explain to the manager that the Chick-fil-A needs to be a more humane workplace. Democracy, as in Moda, Butler, DeWine, would be ideal to help situations where oppressive circumstances are less likely to take hold, like the one where women are discriminated against while working with males. Hopefully, this will bring professionalism into the workplace and provide a better company culture. Finally, the last point will be talked about. Better communication skills can be used to improve these habits, such as having a therapist to speak with when the women feel uncomfortable. Bounded emotionality from Moda, Butler, DeWine is a good source of information that can bring elements of caring, nurturing, community, and supportiveness into the workplace. This will allow for a more humane setting and provide the manager with understanding of equality in the workplace. Human resources should also be available when these problems occur, so another form of hierarchy can handle this. Discipline per Moda, Butler, DeWine will provide clarity for workers and guidance on how to act appropriately in the workplace to prevent these misunderstandings. Overall, giving power to the right person will improve social norms and values to create peace in a more family-like workplace, per Moda, Butler, and DeWine. Now let's summarize. This presentation explored equality in a workplace and how it can be handled. More specifically, I discuss how I can change the situation, how to improve communication habits, and describe the negative patterns in the case study. Overall, gender equality needs to be recognized as we no longer live in the 1920s, but rather a time where women are just as equal as men. Within this case study, the research that has been done makes me want to speak up for other women, since it can be extremely difficult for most females in the workplace to do so themselves. With Chick-fil-A's core value like this, mission statements, website, per 2020 of this year, customer first, personal excellence, continuous improvement, working together, and stewardship. How do you expect them to uphold that when they can't carry the same quality to their coworkers?